Last week it was pretty good, even though we had a lot of hiccups. It was like, what, 1 hour, 5 minutes?
Which is normal. Okay, hi everyone. This is our 4th episode of I Hate Your Opinion. And yeah, not sure what we're going to talk about today, but I do want to apologize because after...
First, I want to apologize, Maddie, because I was late
Dude,
today, and I feel...
You're actually a major rage baiter. Say that again? I wasn't listening.
Irresponsible right now, and I should have moved the contents of my SD card to my Mac sooner, before the allotted time. But silly me, irresponsible me, I have no words to express how sad I am about wasting your time.
Okay.
So,
anyways,
go ahead.
Are you saying that because I crashed out on you last week? Like, I think for the past, I don't know, even before this podcast, like, I personally, like, cannot handle... Okay, it's not everybody. Like, if I know you, it'll bother me. Like, when people are, like, unprepared. Or, like, being incompetent or ignorant is okay. But if you don't try to, like, find the information yourself, that's when it starts bothering me. So, low-key, I know at the end, I didn't watch the last episode, but I know at the end, I got more heated. And then after we ended the video, I, like, low-key crashed out on Phillip. Because he said that he wanted to try editing our video together, which he did last episode. Give yourself a round of applause. You were successful, and I didn't have to help you at all. But I crashed out on him after we cut the cameras because he was like, Maddie, like, just tell me how to do it. And then we had this... I had a rant about... Well, do you remember? I feel like this is why you kept apologizing.
Maddie. I have a confession, Maddie.
What?
No,
did you go on Fiverr and you paid somebody to edit the video and you took all the credit for it?
While you were crashing out on me, I thought it was kind of funny, so I started recording it.
Why would you do that?
Because I was thinking of, like, putting
without my permission,
a little bonus clip at the end of our podcast of you crashing out, because it was funny, but then I just didn't do it, so it's just sitting in my computer somewhere. I don't even know where I saved it, because I'm not, like, technologically advanced with my MacBook. I don't really know how to use it, so, yeah.
Without my permission, you recorded me?
Yeah, but
you can save it for if we ever start a Patreon. How about that?
Okay, Patreon episode.
But
sounds good.
I don't remember what... I mean, I think I was crashing out because... It was the same thing about...
You said in the last episode, right, about your coworker that you were like, I can't baby you all the time. I'm going to have to teach you how to fish, right?
Yes. Yeah, and like when Phillip started using his DJI, he bought that thing. You bought it like such a long time ago, and only when we started recording this podcast is when you started using it. And then I was like, okay, he's like had it for this whole time. Like, of course he probably knows how to use it, even if you didn't like create anything yet. Dude, how come he didn't even know how to flip the camera around? How come he didn't even... Oh my gosh. And it was, like, really annoying me. Because he kept being like, Maddie, how do I do this? Dude, if you're going to make a $700 purchase, shouldn't you, like, research and look into it and, like, see if it really is going to be, like, a valuable, you know, financial decision, you know? And so we had this... I don't think it was an argument. It was more of a... maybe an argument, a heated discussion about, I told him, I was like, Google it. I think a lot of my rant was like, the internet is so wide. Like, you can literally learn anything. If you don't know how to cook, like back in the day, you had to ask your mom or your grandma to cook. Dude, there's YouTube. Just watch YouTube. If you don't know how to use DJI, go on YouTube. Like, there's so many people in this world who are willing to share knowledge, like, and are little maybe too willing, like on Reddit, right? You go on Reddit, people love to correct each other. So there's so many people who are willing to answer those questions, you know? But Phillip's argument was, but Maddie, like, you can Googling takes so long, and it's going to be so long for me to find the answer when I can just ask you. Dude, you're a grown man. Like you can you can look it up yourself.
Okay,
And I think
so
that's what I crashed out about.
I think my problem is I am a very resourceful person when it comes to
No,
using
clearly
the
you're not.
internet. I surf the web. I'm very good at it, and I grew up on those waves actually. And
Clearly hasn't
I
lasted.
go on Reddit and I learn so much about the useless things and
What about learning useful things like learning how to use your DJI and learning how to edit without having to ask me every single little question?
but
Huh?
here's the thing like such like pointed questions, it's better to ask you or someone who knows what they're talking
No,
about because
just
if I
Google it.
go to
Someone else in the world has had that question.
yeah.
That's how wide the internet
But
is.
but 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 if I go on like a YouTube video and like there's like a 25-minute guide, right? How to use your DJI, how to set up your DJI 2025, and then like I don't want to go
Watch it.
going
You
through all
should learn
those
how to use a lot of every aspect of it to
yeah,
use it to its full value, you know? And then
but it's
again,
too much information for me to
if
retain.
there's a pointed question, you know you can type those into Google too. There's
Okay,
no word limit on the Google
so
search.
what I am using is I use ChatGPT and I pay for that
Don't you
service and
you pay for ChatGPT?
I do pay for ChatGPT. I don't really know why. Oh, I do know why. It's because for like what I was trying to use it for, I wanted it to like read like my documents and like create tables and stuff like that. But but you know, I found it very useful when I learned how to edit the video because I just asked ChatGPT like, how do I split put both our videos in one screen? And then it kind of told me how to do it, but guess what? It told me how to do it wrong. So I was like,
Yeah,
you
it's
stupid
not
idiot. You
valuable,
stupid
but
idiot. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
they're not valuable,
It's kind
bro.
of funny. I, I asked ChatGPT how to do it. It told me how to do it wrong. So literally all that I did was, you stupid idiot, this isn't right. And then it fixed its mistake. Like how incredible is that? So I think ChatGPT is teaching me that verbal abuse is a good way to get the results you want.
You know what's a good way to get the results you want? It's probably just
What?
by Googling it.
No, ChatGPT is better. Plus, there's that feeling of superiority you exert over the AI, which Google does not provide.
That sounds some like toxic masculinity type.
And we all know that I'm trying to become more masculine, right? So I think it's perfect. But Maddie,
It's good practice.
I did have a point that maybe our avid viewers might
What avid
recognize.
viewers,
And
dude? Our last. I mean, just kidding. Continue. Sorry.
okay, our viewership trend is downwards, but I think we're figuring out who our true base is. Like we have like some people that are just, coming by, but we want those who are like our true core fans. We're figuring out who those people are, the bedrock of our fan base. But that's off the point, okay? The point is, you've been ranting about me and my DJI incompetence, I think, in every episode.
Well, yeah, because it
and
annoys me.
and so I think they already heard this. And this actually brings me
Well,
to our first topic, but you can go ahead first.
well, it was more like I started off talking about how you edited the last episode,
Yeah.
and that was part of it because he, that was Philip saying, "Oh, can you just teach me how to do it? Can you just teach me how to do it?" You know, like doing that is a waste of my time as well when you can just look it up on the internet. Especially if you want to
Okay, okay.
contribute like
Okay.
continuously, you might as well
Here
just
was
learn, you know?
here's my argument, all right? And it was that Maddie has been editing all the videos. So I said I'll edit it this time to help some of that time burden from you, right?
But then
So
the
that in
time
my
burden would
mind,
come back to me by me teaching you how to edit it. So why
I
like
know,
what then
but
what's even the point of me letting you making you
it's
edit
an
it?
investment. You're teaching me how to fish. Remember you said
No,
last
just
week, oh
learn
yeah,
it
you're gonna
yourself.
teach
I
me how
don't
to fish.
understand. See, but okay, that's the thing. It's remember when I was mentioning about my coworker? Like, yes, I've taught it to her before, but there are also some instances where, it'll be like a simple question like, why is one column of my Excel spreadsheet not moving? And then she'll walk all the way over to me, like tap me on my shoulder and be like, "Hey, do you know how to fix this?" You
Okay,
know how like long it takes to just type it into the internet and then just find an answer?
okay, but Maddie, this is
That's not
my
even teaching how to
exact
fish. You
point.
need to learn how to like Google search. A part of my rant was also like I feel like there's some kind of like search illiteracy going on these days with older people.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
okay,
You just have to
okay.
like learning how to search on Google is a skill.
Here's the thing, Maddie, and this is related to everything we talked about. And I have a theory. It's not a theory. I have an observation. It's that when people get older, they just become like a meme version of themselves, like a caricature. And I think the reason why this happens is, your brain starts like, I'm pretty sure your brain will like atrophy and shrink as you get
Okay, but
older.
your brain is not
And then
atrophying in your like late 20s. Like
I think
is that
it's
true?
I think it's possible in the age of like of brain rot and
Brain rot.
stuff. But I the reason why I'm bringing this up is I am experiencing this phenomenon myself. I see myself becoming a meme of myself. And
I think you're gonna need to
um
explain a little.
okay. So caricature. You're an artist, right? Can you tell me what a caricature is?
Can you just continue? Everyone knows what a
Please.
character is. Just go.
So it's when the street artist draws you and they accentuate the prominent features, right? So I think what happens is when we're old, that caricature becomes true. So like the prominent parts of our personality and the things that we're good at and the things we're
Mm-hmm.
known for, they become the only thing that's left of us as we age. And then everything else like kind of like rots away and gets stripped away. So I think this is what's going on with your coworker. I think your coworker is
No,
getting
but it's
older
not.
and and she decided one day, okay, being good at tech is not my thing. And then her brain that would be good at this kind of
Oh my
stuff and
gosh.
searching it
If
up,
that's
it's rotting
true,
away.
if
Yeah.
that's true, I'm like annoyed. Like, what happened to basic problem solving in this world?
Yeah. But I don't know. I think being around old people or people who are older or like being around your parents, for example. Why do your parents, at least my parents, and I'm not saying this to bash on them, but why do they say the same exact thing every single time, right? It's not even reflected in reality. It's their picture of you that they're talking to,
What do
right?
you
And
mean?
then
Wait, why do you mean same thing every single time? You're saying
so like Chan so
what's
he'd be
what
like,
define thing?
mm,
Be specific.
okay. So if I go call my dad right now, I guarantee you he's gonna launch into a lecture about health, being healthy, right?
Oh, why
And
is there a topic that they talk about all the time?
yeah, and to the point where
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's a meme now. I think what happens when you
Oh,
get older
okay,
is
yeah.
you lose like things that this flexibility of being able to do many things, and you just become this caricature version of yourself that can only ponder certain realities. You can't even
I have a
you just don't
counterpoint.
become flexible. All right, go ahead.
I mean, that could be true, but what if it's more like, as you grow older, when you're young, there's so much of the world you don't know, and there's so many things you have never tried. But the longer you live, the more you realize what you value in life, And maybe that's why they become like this quote unquote like caricature of themselves that you're saying, just because it's what they've lived long enough to experience that's what they decided is most important to them, like their health or, you know, I don't know, something like that, right? Like think about when you were like 15 versus now. Like I don't think there was anything super important to me. Like I loved like K-pop and I loved to like, do all these like watch their videos and listen to their music and watch everything that they're in, right? But then as I grew up, I was like, "Mm, it's kind of a waste of my money because I'm getting older. I gotta save my money. Also, there are these people who will never know me. And yeah, it's fun. And they're handsome or they're beautiful. But, it's not really, it doesn't really add to my life, right? So then as you grow older, you kind of think about what will really add to your life. And maybe that's what's happening to your dad. It's not that, eh, and I would wonder, like, what is the reason that they just become, you know, I know what you're describing is kind of what I'm describing, but you're saying that it just happens for some reason, that when they're older, their brain is like falling apart and then can only remember one thing. But to me, it's like that, they just are older and decide what's more important to them. I think going back to my coworker or anyone else I get annoyed by with this, it's just my whole annoyance thing is let's use our time efficiently, right? Don't waste other people's time. If this is a problem that you think you can handle yourself, do it yourself. Don't bring other people into your burden. Let's be time efficient. And you know what's very time efficient? Typing something into Google and just finding it, right? I know we're straying from the topic, so if you have anything to say about what I'm done with this my whole point is just don't like when people waste my time, you know? Something you can do on your own or beforehand, before asking me.
It's
Um,
possible that your coworker was not trained in the ways of the internet. Because I remember when I was in elementary school,
I think she's only like 6 years older
in
than me.
in whatever first, second, third grade or whatever, they actually taught us how to search things on Google. I remember this. And then they were very specific. They said, don't use words like and or only use keywords.
I've never gotten taught
But
that.
they taught me that. But it doesn't apply anymore because you can pretty much talk to Google like you're talking to a
Wait,
real
and we
person and
also
it
have
works
access
now.
to ChatGPT. Like, she could use that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
And
But
and you know what has happened before? She's asked me a question. I'd be like, I don't know. Let me search it up. And then I searched it and I found it in like 3 seconds.
she didn't know which keywords to use.
And then
It's not her fault.
hey, I hope you remember. In my head, I was like, I hope you remember how I found the answer. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go back to your caricature thing. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, I talked about one of my parents and how I can see them becoming a meme in front of my own eyes. My dad with his
I know
health
what you
meme.
mean.
So,
Hmm.
what about you? Do you notice this around older people? And then we're going to bring this full circle and talk about ourselves and the meme we see ourselves becoming into. But you first.
No, I know what you mean. I think in my lens of what old older people become like, it makes sense. I think when they become a caricature of themselves, it's not for no reason. I'm sure it's for your dad. Maybe his health is deteriorating. That's why he's telling you it's important to take care of your health, right? Something my mom is like me and my sister will meme about is she always sends me and my sister like reels or like Facebook posts about like top five like human trafficking like tactics. Um, because every time I go out, she always says be on guard, right? Always telling me be careful. So
Does she
I
send
kind
you
of
scary stuff, traumatic
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Um,
Let's veer off the topic for a second. Do you think instituting trauma into your kids is good parenting?
why are we? Okay, I was still talking, but you made me forget by talking in front of
It's
me.
okay.
So, what do you mean it's okay? I'm the one who should be saying it's okay because you
I'm
interrupted me.
But if I didn't interrupt you, I would forget about this potential topic. It's just, we
Okay,
don't have
then
any
just
topics
save
planned. We
it.
gotta flow. We gotta flow.
I
We gotta
was
flow.
flowing and then you interrupted me. Okay, that's like annoying me too.
Okay.
Um,
Because I'll go first. When I was a
okay, you
kid,
know what? You're only interrupting me because okay, you're pissing me off today.
no, it's because you're taking so long. But it's true that I had something I wanted to share. But when I was a kid, my dad showed me a video of this family
Okay, when I was a
crossing
kid,
a
my
waterfall.
like my mom would.
Hey,
How does it
hey,
feel? How does it feel? Tell me how it feels. No, tell me how it feels.
I'm so mad right now. I could. It's.
Okay, continue.
I can't even put into words. So, my dad sent me this video of a girl who was interrupting me, and uh, she got kidnapped in the dead of the night. So, that was very traumatic. But another video that my dad sent to me when I was a kid, or he showed to me
Were you trying to make a
in the
joke that I'm
early
gonna get
days
kidnapped?
of the internet, no,
Oh.
was that there was a family crossing a waterfall, and then the water got really high all of a sudden. And then they were all holding hands, and people were yelling, and then the waterfall swept them away. And he showed me this video. And I was just a little kid, and I couldn't believe my eyes, and I didn't understand why my dad was showing me this because it just felt so mean and painful, and I remember my dad's expression. He was like, oh, like he was smiling, but it was a kind of a painful smile. But he
That's a
traumatized me
really
that day.
that's
He
a really
traumatized me.
random that's a really like random video to traumatize. When I was
Because,
younger
yeah,
and I
he doesn't want me
was
to drown, but yeah, go ahead.
um when I was younger, my mom and I didn't want to like eat my food or I didn't want to eat it, like my parents would show me like pictures or videos of like malnourished children. They'd be like and then they would be like none like these kids don't even get to eat. And I would feel so bad. Like they would guilt trip me all the time. I'd feel so
Mm.
bad that I would save my food and I'd be like, "Can we send it to them?" And then I was
Yeah, yeah.
like that's not what they intended for it to happen. But yeah, I think my parents guilt tripped me a lot. I mean, it wasn't trauma, but it was just. I know your question was, is it right to traumatize your children? I think no, because I then it becomes something like you, right? An irrational, like it'd be like an irrational fear of water, or
Right.
because I remember there was some TikTok or somewhere I was seeing it. Maybe it was like a true crime or something, but and I think maybe the mom was just like insane or something. But a mom would show like her daughter videos. I think it was either like murder or like essay, like videos of it, to show her like the dangers of, you know, whatever. But and then I think it was on TikTok, and then the girl who had been shown that when like growing up, she was like, I thought it was normal, you know, but looking back, it was really traumatizing and stuff like that. And so I don't think it's the way to go. Obviously, sane parents, even if that's the route they went, they would never go to that extent. But I mean, but it kind of worked, you know, all the stuff that my mom would show me and send me, not the malnourished children, but as I grew older and she just kept sending me more and more, this girl got kidnapped, whatever, whatever, or like human trafficking. Yes, like I will pay attention to those things, right? Growing up, like you think your mom's crazy, but you realize she's kind of right in a lot of aspects. And so I know I'm a super paranoid person. Like anywhere I go, I'll always like be looking over my shoulder. I'm acting exactly how she wants me to act. But I think what bothers me is she doesn't like fully know that, She doesn't know that I am like super paranoid and she made me like that. But, I guess moms will mom and they'll just always tell you that stuff. Either way.
Yeah. And I bet when you become a parent, you're gonna traumatize your kids the same way.
I mean, I know my mom's like really paranoid, but I don't think she traumatized me. Like, I definitely not. She was just overly cautious and overly paranoid, and I think that just seeped into me. It's not really trauma.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably not a good thing, right? Because whatever you were traumatized with when you're younger, you can either keep it or you have to undo it, right? Like,
I
so
mean, I don't think that's undoing. I think you need to just like reflect and, you know, I think they do it in like therapy, right? Like you tell yourself, this can't hurt me or whatever. I don't think you can ever undo something really terrible. You just have to learn how to
yeah,
live with the repercussions of what happened.
yeah, maybe. But I think it's just an interesting thing that growing up, we're all getting traumatized in one way or the other. Not even for
Okay, can I
a
say
bad
something?
reason. It could be for a good reason, right? Because
I
they
I
want to
think
put
the
you on a
word
certain path.
traumatized is like overused, and the no, like the number of people who get quote unquote traumatized kind of oversaturated. Like I feel like it's lost its meaning. Like I don't even like I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of like a buzzword now. I don't think everyone is traumatized in like a light sense, sure, like really impacted significantly. I don't know about traumatized. Like, you don't have PTSD from seeing a waterfall, do you?
Okay, but I'm
You
not
just
talking about
feel a little
PTSD.
scared.
PTSD is something different, I think.
Like, do
I
you like
guess we
start
can.
shaking and like start sweating every time you see a waterfall?
No, no.
I don't think you were traumatized. I think you were just significantly impacted by that experience.
Okay. I don't think it matters what we call it, right? I choose to call it trauma. And I think a distinction can be made in when we use trauma as an excuse for some behavior, then I think it might become an issue at that point. But then I think I can call these things trauma. Um, I don't know. I don't want to argue about the definition of the word per se,
I
but
mean, I just think people, like you said, people use it as an excuse sometimes when it's not as severe as what trauma actually is. But, you know, you can't really change the meaning all of a sudden or how people use it. And people will continue to use it, you know, in a
yeah.
very light manner.
But I think traumatizing kids to correct their behavior is actually a very short-sighted thing, right? Because you will get the immediate
No,
effect
yeah, I
of
agree.
they'll get scared into behaving in a different way.
But then you change
And
like the
then,
chemistry of their minds, you know?
yeah, you change the chemistry of the mind. And then, like 20 years later, they have to deal with the consequence of that. And there's a ripple effect. Maybe they would live their life differently if they didn't have this kind of
Yeah.
weird
I mean,
block in their
I
mind.
think there's like a balance between teaching your child like a harsh reality versus changing their brain chemistry because you also like one side of it is really like sheltering your kid. We don't want that, right? And then we also don't want on the way other side of, you know, your kid is traumatized and he like can't step outside and look at a body of water and not start shaking and crying, you know? I think there's the good middle is, you know, teaching I'm your parent. I love you and I'll do anything to protect you. But this is just how the world works and there is scary people, there's scary things that I won't be able to protect you from that you need to know for yourself when I'm not there to help you or save you or take care of you, you know? So I think that's just like the middle ground. And I think maybe my mom, with all the paranoia and whatever this stuff, maybe was veering towards the scaring me straight end, but in some senses, you know, it depends on the kid, of course. If your kid is already a scaredy cat, you don't gotta do that much. I think I'm a pretty scaredy cat, so you don't gotta do too much to convince me to be paranoid. Um, but if you're like a super rowdy kid, and sure, traumatize him a little bit, you know, for his own good. And you just have to balance the scales, you know? What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think I think I was traumatized from every angle. And And I don't want to make it
But
sound like I
not
had
in
a
like a
terrible
real trauma
childhood.
way, right?
I don't know what that means, but I don't want to say
Like
that
you
I
were
had a
not
bad childhood.
abused.
Okay, I don't think I was abused, no,
Okay, just
but
making sure.
just like asking myself, why am I the way I am? And and I think it's unfortunate that when you're growing up as a little child, you're in fourth grade or fifth grade or whatever, and then all these institutions are trying to mold you to be a certain way, right? School, they're trying to force you to be some kind of good student, right? And then so I think school traumatized me, and then I was also a churchgoer as a kid, right? And then I had a very kind of I think it depends on the authorities at your church, but then they could traumatize you too, right? And then going at home, you could be traumatized at home. And the problem with all these different authorities is that they contradict each other, and it's terrible, I think. So, for example, it's like, what do you learn when you're going to church as a kid? And then the messages you hear there versus the messages you hear at school and the messages your parents are telling you, they're all contradicting each other. And so I think that's kind of traumatizing in its own right, trying to reconcile all these things that as a kid your authorities are trying to tell you. What do you think about that?
Um, what I was gonna say was it kind of just sounds like you're going through life. Like you have parents. You're gonna have people who have an influence on you. You're gonna have a pastor or church friends, a community. They're gonna have an influence on you. You're gonna go to school. Your teachers and the people there and your peers are going to have an influence on you. Like low key, that's just life, and that's just kind of how your character, who you become, like, is developed. And like I don't know, how other what other way would you have it? That every like your pastor, your parents, and your teachers all have a conference once a week to make sure everything lines up.
No, I
I
don't
think
think so.
things in life will contradict each other. And then it's kind of like, how do you take in that information? Obviously, you're a kid. Obviously, your critical thinking skills are not as great as it is now when you're an adult. But I think that's just, I know maybe it's a little pretentious of me to say, that's just how life is, you know? But can I be honest? I think that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You know? You could
Yeah.
have a great childhood, but you could have a sucky adulthood. You could have a great child and a sucky adulthood. You can have a whatever, you know? So yeah,
All right.
people
So
will.
why don't we diagnose people? All right. So I want to go into church, the Korean American church. And the reason I want to talk about this is I currently attend a Korean church in America, but it's actually mostly like
It's pretty Korean.
Korean, yeah, pretty. I mean, everyone speaks English,
It's
but
Korean. Oh, the whole
the
service is in
predominant,
Korean.
yeah, and there's subtitles. And I look around and I think they're all very cool, very accomplished, very inspiring people, very nice. It's like
Glazing
wow.
moment.
But growing up, all the Korean American churches I've been in, I think I would look around and I would see some kind of loser or like some kind of social
As defined in a
outcast.
previous episode.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
probably
I
who
was
you were
kind
thinking.
of one
That
of
was who you were
those.
thinking about when we were
Yeah.
talking about it in that episode.
I
Okay.
can count myself as one of those losers in the ranks of the Korean American church. And I think there's like even it's a documented phenomenon even on TikTok, right? I'm not even on
Yeah.
TikTok and I
Yeah.
know about this stuff. Can you kind of summarize the claim that's on TikTok about Korean
Don't
American
ask me to do
loser
anything.
church
When
boys?
you do that, it makes me annoyed for some reason.
But I'm not on TikTok.
I'm not your secretary. Okay, fine, sure. Um,
Okay.
I mean, I'll just talk about it then. I think there's a lot of truth to how what Korean American churches are like. Yeah, it's cliquey. It's very gossip focused, and I think even when I was like in youth group, they would talk about you know people see gossip as just caring about one another, right? Like you're just worried, right? No, that's not true. I think it can be a veil for just slandering and gossiping. So I think there's and in I think
I think gossip is a real problem, but not just. Yeah, it's a problem for like every group.
okay.
I think ever. But
No,
yeah,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, for sure. But definitely in maybe it's Asian American churches. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Korean people like to gossip for sure. I'm included. I apologize and I will repent. But yeah, I think it's just toxic. But I think I mean us being in the middle of it obviously has impacted us more. But I think any community or any like anything that just involves a group of humans will be um faulty at any point, right? A church, a band,
Right.
a club, you know,
Right. Okay, but remember
a
that.
Discord server.
God, this is like a year old, but that husband of that TikTok influencer wife who is a pastor,
Oh,
the
and
husband's a pastor, and
oh, and he was
everybody
a
was going
loser.
in on this guy. Like, this guy is a loser.
The
This guy's not the
internet,
breadwinner. Huh?
the internet was going in on.
Y-
Is that what you said?
Yeah, the internet. Yeah, the
Yeah,
internet
yeah,
was
yeah.
going on
I think I remember.
this
And
guy.
people like always
Yeah,
comment like save whatever her name is.
yeah, yeah. I guess we can talk about them because they're public figures. I think her name is Sarah, and then the guy's name's Andrew, right? And Andrew's a pastor. And
I
then
guess
I
when you
remember,
knew their names the whole time.
yeah, I remember reading those comments, and the people are all talking about, "Oh, this is why Korean American church boys are the worst, are the worst, are the worst." And I can see it. I can see what these people are talking about. Like, I hate to
No,
agree, but
yeah, yeah. No,
I
me too.
I don't think this guy was as bad as they're talking about. I mean, he had a job. He was a pastor. I mean, that's a real job. So I disagreed with a lot of the criticism, but what I did agree with is the culture of Korean American church creates losers. The general concept of that. I think it's true. I think it's true.
I don't
And
think it creates loser. I think it just like like not encourages, but like it's you know if your house is full of dirt, of course there's gonna be like bacterias and stuff. It just invites that kind of the environment kind of just fosters that kind of person, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember too much, to be honest. I really did
but
enjoy church
it doesn't
when
have
I
to
was
be
there,
specific
but
to
I
this
remember there were
one
problems.
example, but just in general.
Okay, wait. Just to clarify, the people that we're talking about, did people also make comments that like her dad treated her really well? Like, why would she stay
Yeah,
with this husband? Okay, I think I
yeah,
remember. I just want to make sure
yeah.
I'm thinking about the right person.
But I have a theory on why this happens. Why does this church, Korean American church, and probably other types of groups as well, religious groups, like why does it cultivate loser people, loser men? And I have a few ideas about this. I think number one
Sure.
is the enforced niceness, right? So if you walk into a church, right, you're taught to be nice and welcoming to people. You have welcoming teams, right? People whose job is to welcome you. So in real life, you kind of have to fend for yourself, right? If you go
Mm-hmm.
to school, if you go to the club or something, like, you gotta kind of be proactive about talking to people, meeting people, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when you go to church is you can be silent, you can be meek, and because Jesus says that these are things that you'll be blessed for, it's like it's chill. And then the welcoming team is gonna come welcome you, right? And people are gonna be nice to you. People are gonna reach out to you. And so I think some people lose the need to develop themselves socially because
But
they're
they're not at
automatically
church
being treated well.
24/7. They also live in real, like, they live, they go to school, they go to jobs. I,
Yes,
you know, maybe
I agree.
it's more their fault than not, than, you know.
I agree. I agree. And but then you run into people who their whole life is in church, right? They haven't stepped a foot outside of it. And so growing up, they're in youth group, and then when they go to college, they're in campus ministry, and then after campus ministry, they go into um, seminary, and um, it is something that happens and something I've noticed. But that's just one thing, okay? I think another thing is the message that is being taught at church that your life doesn't matter, right? Like, why does doing well at school matter if at the end of it all, we're going to heaven, right?
Wait, you said
There's a
that they teach like
whole,
that life doesn't matter?
that's my summary of it, which is probably wrong, but, but if you're being taught that your whole eternity, that is way more significant, is coming after this life, then why should I care about what I do in this life? What do you think about that?
Is that your question?
Yeah,
Or is that what you're talking about makes people a loser?
this is my question to you. Do you think what I'm saying is accurate about what's being taught in
Um,
church? And
I mean, maybe someone can take it like that. Or maybe someone it doesn't, you know, the way someone talks about it, it could be misconstrued as that. But I think there's a true, like, so that could happen, human error. But I don't think that's true that your life doesn't matter. I mean, while we're here, like on Earth, right? I think, and I'm not a great um, verse rememberer, so I apologize and I need to work on that. But, I think God gives us gifts and resources and blessings and trials that, you know, just because, our life ends so quickly doesn't mean that you shouldn't take those things for granted. I think at least when I was growing up and what I think about now, like in terms of work, is, God gave me a healthy body. He gave me a job. When I was in school, he allowed me to even go to school. There are so many people who can't go to school, don't have a job, or, like I'm blessed that I've been able to go to college and have a job that, who am I to squander this blessing, So, and personally, I do get lazy at work. And so, for me to glorify God is to use his gifts to me and be disciplined by working hard. Another thing I need to do is also exercise so I can take care of this body that he gave me. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but yeah. I mean, if God let me go to school, I should take advantage of it, right? If my mom gave me, I don't know. Why can't I think of an analogy? I'm usually an analogy machine. But you know what I'm saying?
yeah, but I think it's very impressive the way you view it, and I think that's a good way to view it and a good way to apply um, church teachings in a helpful way. But
I think that is the truth though. Like I think somewhere I feel so bad because I can't remember any verses. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, to use our gifts and our resources that God gives us. That's why I was saying, like, yeah, I see truth in how you're saying like maybe the Korean American church community will help someone be more of a loser, but like I mean they go to school, they go to work, they have other friends, they live outside of church for the people for the most part. I think if you live at church and you serve all the time, I don't even think that would make you a loser. Like you tell me all the time, like the people at your church are so cool and like, they're so dedicated and that makes them admirable. I feel like a real loser wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think people at my church are losers.
Are you
Because
projecting? You're thinking about when you were a loser in the Korean American church.
yeah, I'm talking about myself and other people I see.
You're like,
Like
hypothetically,
it's a
there's a
very
guy.
stark difference in the current Korean church I attend and then Korean American churches I have attended.
I mean,
But
I
I think,
definitely, there are definitely a lot of bad eggs, but that doesn't mean they're all bad, you know? And maybe what happens in a bad way, is just a precursor to, being sharpened and molded later, you know?
or instead of being molded, the mold is allowed to grow. It's like a culture, you know. It's the bacteria. It can kind of spread. Okay,
But
I'm
then
getting off
again, like,
track here. Yeah,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I have criticisms of, I think, the messages I was hearing when I was attending church when I was a kid, and um,
Do you think that they're true, what they're saying,
what who was saying.
what you're hearing in the messages?
So I don't know.
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
what they're saying is
But
true?
okay, so first of all, there's a
Why
lot
can't you
of.
answer my questions? You always have to go on to your own thing and like you can't engage in this discussion with me.
Did I think it's true? I mean, I'm gonna answer the question eventually. Um, so I guess I don't think it's true because I think it's a problem, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's true. And the first thing that I don't like is this idea of you cannot lean on your own understanding, right? So
You do
if there's
love.
something,
Okay, one thing about Philip, he does love to lean on his own understanding. Okay, continue. Sorry.
so
That's
okay, I
true.
mean, we can go on about that, but I feel like okay, don't lean on your own understanding. So if you have a question or if something
I think
puzzles
you're
you,
okay.
then
Wait, I think you're
you just
taking
you
it
just
too
gotta
literally, though. I'll look it up. Okay, continue. Continue speaking.
you just gotta give it up. Like you just gotta separate your thinking mind from from you gotta split your brain in half. Basically, it's like just don't think about it, right? Don't think about the issues that are bothering you. Don't think about these questions that you have. And when I look around at at, at adult church going people, I, I I see it in them. I see that they've blocked out the critical thinking in certain areas of their brain. Like they just don't want to deal with it. And so I think that concerns me, number one. Um, and another thing that concerns me is this idea of powerlessness over your sin, right? And I think this one could be different, but if you take it as like Jesus is the only one that can forgive your sin, okay, I think I can agree with that on a intellectual basis. But when you're being told that you have no control over what you do, like when you're born into the world, you have no choice but to every day, every single day, sin, sin, sin. You're always gonna do something wrong. I I think that has to be traumatic, like in some way, and I think it takes away some kind of autonomy in your life, like this that you're
I think maybe
constantly being
whoever was
told that.
telling you these things, like, it was really taken out of out of context. Because yes,
Okay,
those things have been said, but like, uh, and okay, and you know what I'm really like hearing and like kind of like I'm like peering into your brain. I
Mm-hmm.
think it is true with and maybe it's not just, the stereotype, but um like at least, but I don't know, maybe it is Korean American. Let's just say it's Korean American pastors. But sometimes I I know what you're saying. I don't know how to describe it, but they'll take what the Bible is saying and kind of put their own meaning into it. Like lean not on your own understanding. Like don't even think at all. Like that's not like, using your critical thinking skills. Like that's not true. Or what was like you have powerlessness over your sins. I think I think it was a little lost in translation from what you're saying. To be honest, like I think the powerlessness over your sins is not that like you're just like programmed like a zombie. Like I have to sin, but more it's that you can't redeem yourself. You know. So maybe what you're hearing is like kind of I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to say that you are like you like obviously no one can stop sinning like point blank, but that's why we lean on the Lord. We lean on his understanding and his wisdom and turn away from evil. So from what you're saying, these 2 points, I'm just like, sure? Are you sure they said that?
From my perspective,
like who said that? Call him
I
out. Just
see
kidding.
I see the fundamental like Christian people not having critical thinking. And it's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
unfair to say because I'm not saying that I everyone needs to think the way I do, right? But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like I see it in adult people that it's I think it's my I'm not saying there's a problem with them, but I wonder if that what I was being told to not lean on your understanding like affected
Taken
many
a
other
little too
people to
literally.
not yeah and so that's why we have a lot of adult people and we can look at the news, right? Like Christians are not looked very favorably in the news because they're all stupid, right? Like the stereotypical Republican Christian is kind of unfavorably viewed, and I think rightly so because they're all kind of stereotypically dumb because I don't think they have critical thinking skills, probably because they're taught to deny alternative points of view when they're growing up and to not try to understand them, try not to lean under their uh, onto their own understanding growing up. So I'm I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just being critical.
What was your question?
I have no question.
Oh, just ranting?
Yeah.
I mean, I have like dual points of view or like perspectives because I am on TikTok, on the internet. And I know where you're coming from that, Christians are looked upon unfavorably. But I
I
also
hate
am,
I hate Christian content. I think it's like another type of brain rot. But go ahead.
I like it. I think it keeps me accountable based on who you're watching. Um, there are some that I don't particularly like. I definitely don't enjoy the side of, I don't know, Christian like influencers or media. I don't like the people who just debate people on the streets.
Okay, how about
I think
YouTube
it's just
videos that say God wanted you to watch this?
I mean, okay, I'll get a lot of those to be honest, and it will make me feel a little guilty if I scroll. But but then like the second thing I think is like a human is saying this. like God did not tell this person that, post this video, like, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. Um, those are fine. Like, I'll just keep scrolling, those Facebook posts where it's like, my followers will leave a like and an amen in the comments. And the devil was like, like people who follow me will scroll, those things. Um, yeah, I more enjoy, like, do you know, like, Cliff and Stewart? I like their
And I know
videos.
of them.
Um, I think, yes, I will not disagree that there are a lot of Christians who give us a bad rap, And, but one thing I will say to that is I saw this TikTok um, where it was like Mozart, right? He was a great composer. He made beautiful pieces, right? If I, or let's say you, because you play piano, if you went and you had a concert but you like royally effed it up, would they start like blaming Mozart for you sounding really badly? You know? So the point of that TikTok that I saw was, God or Jesus um, is good and we're called to follow his goodness. But as sinners, we royally F up all the time. But, and I think obviously that is what gives us a bad rap. And it's unfortunate, but I feel like if anything, like it pushes the agenda even more. Like we definitely suck just like the rest of the world, right? I think there's a view that, Christians are supposed to be good. Oh, yes, very true. But the only reason why we follow Christ is because we're bad. Because we need that redemption. Like if I was completely sinless, well, I wouldn't need Jesus. Like, who cares? Like, I'm going straight to heaven with or without you if I was completely sinless. So I really did like that analogy that the TikTok told me, right? And I think that's what people miss. And but it's just reality. mm, I think one thing I think about sometimes is, there are definitely a lot of people who like bash Christians or whatever, but if you bashed like any other religion or if you bashed some other like way of living, you get canceled online. But and sure, if I was a Christian and I like fought back, I'm like, we should cancel them for not respecting my religion. Like that's not what we're called to do. We're not called to be vengeful in any way. So, I mean, it makes sense that Christians are bashed online or persecuted in another word. Um, yeah, I don't know. Everything you said is true. Like, we suck. People will post terrible content. It's kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that take, right? Yes, like we're given the Bible. It's like how we're given a Mozart piece, right? But when we like try to play it out into the world, it's gonna be definitely imperfect. So in the same way, if anything, like
Yeah.
more reason.
Yeah.
And can I be honest? I'm gonna be so honest right now, and I'm gonna admit it to the world. But I did see because so Philip and I have a notes app of topics, and so this was one of your topics, kind of like a couple of them, kind of like Christian rot, media or why Christians suck, or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, like the past week, I kept thinking about the list, and I was like really anxious, not because like it makes me mad, but more of like I get so worried on like will I be able to talk about it well, you know, or will I, you know, do Jesus some justice. So I was really anxious because I was like, we're definitely going to talk about that next week. So I was really anxious. So I prayed. I was like, if this comes up in our next podcast episode, like, Holy Spirit, like, please give me the words to speak because I'm so scared, you know? But then as we were talking, I realized what I was saying. I will never be perfect. And I think, and making it full circle, right, when you brought up, like, lean not on your own understanding, like, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Like, I have to trust that it's not going to be me, like, saying the right words. It's God, it's the Holy Spirit. So I just want to say, I was really anxious when when you put those in. I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know. I don't remember. Like, I don't memorize a lot of verses or anything. But, yeah. So my worst nightmare came true, but I think it went okay. Now that we're out of time.
Yeah. I feel a little worried now after the conversation. Like, I kind of don't want to post it anymore.
Why?
But
I think it's a relevant topic for us and our friends. Like, when you're talking about our core audience, in my head I was like, you mean our friends? I don't like Philip, we're not gonna be famous. Like, this is just a time for us to talk and for like an hour of us talking for our friends to listen. I love listening to podcasts when I'm working. I think it's relevant. Why are you anxious? You were the one who put the topic in the notes app. Are you really gonna make me record another video? I'm gonna be annoyed.
I kind of don't know why I put those things in the list, but
no, I was telling you, I think you
really
were like PMSing or something, going crazy.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I don't think I didn't really think it through. I just kind of wrote it in there.
That's okay.
But
good thing I disagreed. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, I just I think a lot of time is wasted. I think that's my point. I think when you're kind of indoctrinated as a kid, I think regardless of whether you like become a better Christian in the future or if you go in the opposite direction, like you end up having to undo a lot of that indoctrination anyway, and like
me pick on me.
Yeah, go.
I asked you earlier when you were saying a lot of the messages you heard were kind of off, and then I asked you, like, did you think what they were saying is true, right? And what did you say? No, because it's problematic, because you think it's problematic, right? So then my follow-up question was going to be, did you ever, because it was wrong, right? Were you ever in pursuit of what was actually true? Like, did you ever find that out? Contrary to what they're saying, like, lean not on your own understanding. Don't ever think for yourself. What is the truth? Like, that you figure it out later,
The truth is...
Like, where did you learn that, what the truth is, if that's wrong?
The sad thing is, I just know it's wrong. And then I don't really necessarily know it's right.
So that's my question, right? Like, is it time wasted to make a mistake or go through something wrong, but then eventually you find the truth, right? Like, then is that time wasted? Or is the time wasted the time after when you decide, oh, okay, I guess this is what I think now,
I don't know. It's a difficult question.
Me with the difficult questions.
So, I'm like kind of scared to put concrete examples, right?
Okay, you don't have to.
Um,
You could give one, but then say it's hypothetical.
okay. I don't know why I remember this, but one time my elementary pastor put on this YouTube video during the sermon, and then it was Albert Einstein, okay? And it was Albert
You have
Einstein as a
videos of
little
Albert
kid.
Einstein?
Shh. And so I remember this so well because it made that big of an impact on me. And then it was a classroom setting, and the teacher was saying, "All right, so if there's evil in the world, then how could God exist, right? It doesn't make sense." And then this little student raises his hand and sits up, and he says um, something like, "Well, if darkness exists, then does that mean light doesn't exist? No, darkness just means that there is an absence of light. So what that means is evil in the world is the absence of God." And then at the end it reveals that the student is Albert Einstein. And I was, oh my God, Albert Einstein said that, and I was deeply moved. I was so happy because it was a
Because Albert Einstein's a
very
Christian.
intellectual scientific figure that was proving the existence of
Why is that
God.
funny?
And then guess what I did? I went home later that night and I Googled it. Like you told me to Google. And I found out that it's freaking fake. That Albert
That's
Einstein never
so
said that.
funny.
And I was, ever since then,
Bamboozled.
my cynicism, how do you say that word?
Cynicism.
Cynicism in the intellectual nature of Christians just plummeted, like absolutely plummeted. And then I I wondered if the pastor knew that it was fake. And I wondered why, if she didn't know it was fake, why didn't she look it up? And I was just very disturbed from that day.
Wait. Wait, like.
Albert Einstein never said that. I'm actually gonna cry because it's how much it disturbed me when I was a
Oh,
kid.
I'm so sorry. That's really funny. I could just imagine you. I know, and not to speak lightly of your trauma, but like I imagine like little Phillip. He's like, his mind is like blown. He's like, Albert Einstein said that. You're like, I can't believe this. He's like looking it up on the internet. He's like, Google is like, Albert Einstein has never said. You're like, shit. Like, you're like, you turn off all the lights in your room and you're crying into your pillow. I'm sure that's how it probably feels like emotionally, but that's so funny. Like, was it, okay, my question is like, was it a character that kind of just looked like Albert Einstein? Like, did they put a quote on the screen after and said, dash Albert Einstein, C dot year? Or was it just like a kid that looked like Albert Einstein?
No, he did not look like Albert Einstein. So you don't know he's Albert Einstein until the end of the video. Like it's like a mic drop, and then it
Bro, that's like,
pauses, and then
how
it
old
says
were you?
Albert
That's like
Einstein next to his
OG.
face.
That's like OG. What kind of bait is that? Just like, it's like those freaking memes that are like Keanu Reeves saved this like little
It was
child, this
that. It
this
was literally
child
that.
from like from a car crash, and they said, thank you so much, sir, like how can I ever repay you? Keanu Reeves like, don't worry, just go on and like study hard and work hard at school. And then at the end it's like, and that boy grew up to be Barack Obama.
It was the OG version of that
I
Christian
know,
version.
I know. That's why I'm cracking up. See, but is that really like, is that really the foundation of your cynicism? That Albert Einstein never. I'm so sorry, but is that really the fan? I know it probably like broke you as a child, but at some point, wouldn't you realize like, oh, people just be making stuff up? And I mean, did your teacher make that video? I mean,
No, it
I
was just
I guess
some
the fact
video
that
she
she
found on
showed it
YouTube.
showed that she kind of endorsed it. Maybe it was like a metaphor or something, like, you know. I mean, that's kind of fun.
So like obviously I don't care anymore. So
I know, but
I
you
I
still remember
literally
it.
I don't, because at the time it was a big deal because yeah, right now I don't care what any scientific figure says about God. Like their opinion is as good as anyone else's. It's not better or worse, in my opinion.
Sure.
So if some astrophysicist says, "Oh, God exists," or if Stephen Hawking says God does not exist, I like that's actually not their subject of. They're no specialists in the subject, right? So I don't care if Albert Einstein said it or not. But at the time growing up, when I was a little kid, church teachings and science and school teachings were very much opposed, right? So
Hmm.
that's that was a source of struggle when I was a young
I mean,
one.
I think they're like formatted like that.
Yeah. So that's why I was so excited when Albert Einstein endorsed God and Christianity because I was like, oh my God, it's a breakthrough. Like they're not always clashing with each other. I don't have to break my brain to understand
Mm.
both things. And yeah, it was fake. So I'm so mad.
That's good. That's good. No,
So
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I get it. It's kind of like, I mean, as a child, especially if you thought it was like a huge thing and then it was turned over on its head, it probably felt like crazy. But like I said earlier, right? If you know that something is wrong, which I think what you're saying that you learned at church, lean not on your own understanding and just don't have a brain, like, yeah, that's wrong. You should use your brain, right? But then after that, it's like, what do you do with that? Do you just say, oh, I know that that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong? But like, do you just continue on not knowing what's right? Like, are we going to be in pursuit of the truth of what we can determine is the truth? So how do you know if it's wrong if you don't know what's right? So I think
I
that's
think
just my
it's
question for
yeah.
you. It just
I
feels
yeah.
wrong, you know?
I think it's easier to prove something is wrong than to prove something is right.
Yeah,
I
so
think
prove to me that it's wrong. That's also my question, right?
yeah. But it's kind of like in law, right? It's easier. There's a burden of proof, right?
Yeah.
So I can't. I don't think I can eloquently put my thought together on this, but
It's okay, me neither.
yeah. I am very much not certain of what is true, and I think I'm more clear on what is wrong. And I do think many the more dogmatic you get, the more certain you are something is true, which to me is a sign of either a great experience in your life, which serves as your proof, or it can also be a lack of critical thinking.
So do you think someone who has a certainty about like a belief or a truth, you're more inclined to believe that they have no like they have less critical thinking?
I think it's one possibility, and the other possibility is like they have a personal, like anecdotal experience that serves as like proof, which is
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
highly respect that. But I just it's just frustrating. I think a great many people just lack critical thinking.
I agree with that. You
Yeah.
know, coming into the adult world, you think you'd be surrounded by more smart heads, but you realize a lot of dumb heads in the world as well who lack critical thinking. Unfortunately, that includes non-Christians and Christians. I think we're just all
Yep.
stupid. Um, I think that's why you have to lean on your own understanding, right? Because we're all stupid. Some people fail to do that though. Anyways, we are like 15 minutes over, but that's fine. I like this conversation. I feel like I got it out of my system, my anxiety. Maybe you became more anxious after the conversation.
I do
I
feel
feel
more
like
anxious.
I feel like I feel like our like if this is time and if this is time and this is anxiety, I was here and you're here and it went like this as the time went by. But yeah. Anyways, what did you think about the episode? Good? Bad?
I'm not sure.
You seem more like pensive as time went on.
I think because it's trauma. Like I was telling you earlier, it's like trauma is surfacing.
Is it trauma or is it just making you like there's like a burdensome thought in your head now that it's come back up?
I don't see why we need to differentiate it. I think it's trauma, but it doesn't have to be so like severe. But um, yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, we still haven't gotten any comments for any questions, but I think that's
Yeah.
because only 13 people watch our videos. So, if you have a comment, leave it down below. And like I said, I think I kept saying last episode, comment who's right. You don't have to do that, but please leave comments.
Yeah.
I think our first episode got some good comments, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you know
am
what we should
feeling
do?
anxious. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm feeling anxious, but that could be actually a signal that I should post the episode, right? Because if I'm
Oh,
feeling
anxious
like,
about like the podcast coming out
I don't
or
know, it's
like
just a
existential
feeling.
dread?
Um, it doesn't feel like dread per se, but
Existential
it's going
crisis.
away right now. But um, yeah, maybe we should even post the other one, the one we scrapped, because
You know what I realized? That's the one where I
what?
sprayed mouth spray for the first time in my mouth. Remember? I think I got. Let's just save it for later. Loki, I think I
Okay.
deleted it.
What?
Anyways,
Why would you delete it?
just kidding. I don't think I did. But
Okay.
yeah, that concludes the 4th episode of I Don't Hate You.
I hate your opinion. Bye.